Hello, welcome to FreeFX. Today is the 30th of December, so we're just coming to the end of 2022, and what a year it's been. Absolutely amazing in so many ways, and also quite difficult in others. I just wanted to, I've only done one video this week. This being the only video because there's not really been that much. I'm actually on holiday, so to speak, because I sort of had experiences trading Forex, for example before we're trying to sort of trade around the Christmas time. It's always been very difficult, and I sort of decided to kind of stay away and not really try. And there have been intraday movements, as you can see, but when you look at the size of these movements, I mean, they're very, very small, and it's not really conducive to good trades. Very choppy. If you look at basically the start of the week, Monday, Tuesday, very small. Wednesday, Thursday, we kind of got back to where we started. And so if you look at where we are, the overall direction, you can see that we've had two dojis one week after the next. And today is Friday, so it's unlikely to change. Disappointing because as well, we've had, in previous legs of this downtrend. So I'm counting my sort of 7 weeks runs here and here, and then we are obviously in the fourth week. So by comparison, if you look at the fourth week of this run in April, Monday 25th of April, it was a much bigger move. And also this one here in August, we had a fourth. It was actually an up move, but at least there was some direction, some conviction. And then we retreated back below the channel top. But here, which is sitting right at the edge of this inner channel top, and we're not trend line, we're not really sort of making much progress. And that's because we happen to be in at the end of the year. So if you look at the kind of equivalent of that's Monday, 27th of December, 2021, up there at the top, let's make this a bit smaller. You can see, small candle, and that's basically where the uptrend finished, and then the downtrend sort of started from here, the 3rd of January. So it could be that we gain traction, after an initial couple of weeks in January where things kind of get going again. So we might end up, if we add another 2 weeks, it might be that the 6th or the 7th week, so that's 4, 5, 6, the week of the 9th of January or the week of the 16th of January, we might start seeing some conviction. So we're kind of banking on that really being the deciding factor. Um, Other than that, I mean, if you look at the CCI again, we've had the turn back here on the 28th of November week. We kind of stuck to being sub zero, and that hasn't really changed much. We're still at the same kind of point, minus 35 on the weekly. So it's a good place to be. Intraday again, I've gone long and short before finishing for Christmas, so there's not really been much of a problem with that. If you look at the 4 hourly, just to give you an example of that. And we try to sort of gauge the movement of that. So before the Christmas week, which was uh, there, so the week before Christmas, we were having some good moves, up and then down. So I did that, and then I sort of stopped because the ranges were getting smaller. So, and the CCI, as you can see, we're kind of a bit choppy, really, to be fair. So other than that, there's not really been much else going on. And what is interesting to see is that this year has been um, quite a difficult year for me personally. We talked about this before, but what are we expecting next year? Well, if the downtrend continues up to what I sort of projected here, which is down to these levels, and then what happens then is that the bottom in. This bottom should be lower than the one that we got in October. So if the low here is the last one, then that takes us, as I said before, to the pre-pandemic high, more or less, or just below that actually. So here, but anyway, these levels would represent essentially a cycle of high and returning to the previous high, and then returning to the uptrend. Some people say that that financial markets or financial assets, find a bottom before say, a housing market or the economy in a wider sense. And so that the recession, which is here pretty much, will sort of unfold after this has found the final tumble, if you like, has happened in an asset like the S&P 500. But that remains to be seen. It could be that the two happen in parallel. But recessions are slow machines, and financial markets tend to move faster in a way. Although this has unfolded not particularly at lightning speed. I mean, it's the 2022 downtrend, so it's not really. And so, other than that, what I was going to say was talk about the VIX, because it's been a source of frustration for many observers how it's not really motivated itself, and it's sort of whipsawing into the final uh, days of the year to this very tight range. And I said before that we had this sort of movement before. I think it was in back here. I think it was in near the start of the year. Sorry, in April. Yeah, we had this kind of shape: up, down, up, down, up, down. I know that it's not very technical or sophisticated, but you know, this sort of shape you can see was looking like we'd then zip up, but that sort of failed because of where we are in the year, etc. This was April, so you know, into the fullest sort of part of the year, if you like. So we are not in the same context, but this could pick up, but we just don't know what the spark is. So and so we've bottomed as well on the CCI. We've got to minus 200, so we're kind of just retreating from that. But we could sort of get back to zero and back down because we're still in the downtrend area. So that's maybe where we'll get the VIX on the next leg down from just below zero or between minus 100, is kind of where we are, and zero. We go between minus 100 and zero. So apart from that, we've not seen many interesting things because of where we are. So the next thing to talk about is, um, where we go from here, and it's apart from these projections, it would be sort of a reversal of that, and that's really a carte blanche because we can use Fibonacci, sure. We can use previous levels, 1300, 4000, sort of round number levels, sure. We can use a trend line going here, for example. Let's do one kind of manually, sort of like that, and so if that holds, then that's the bottom there. If it gets to around these levels, and then picks up, then that's sort of where we go. There's not really anything scientific about that. I'm just sort of saying that that's the next chapter, if you like. So we closed 2022 with a downtrend still in place, and good luck to anybody trading it because it is a great opportunity. And if shorting spot as I do is not a problem, then there's not really any preference or preferential treatment to going long as going short. So that's where we're at. But obviously for others, long only or sort of holders assets to the upside, that is a problem, and they have to diversify to negotiate sort of the drawdowns. So I hope that you've had a good, successful trading year, and I'd like to say thank you for everybody following my videos. I do these in my own time. I'm a musician, and so trading is a very small part of my life, although a significant part, but time-wise, it's very very small, and I do try to pack in a lot of stuff in that small time. My trading, these videos, participating in discussions on Twitter when I can, and also more recently doing interviews, which is a really nice part of what I do, and very interesting to talk to other traders. So there are more traders interviews coming up in January, so keep an eye out for those, and I hope you enjoy that. But thank you very much for listening to my channel this year. It's been great to have comments and people following my channel. So I look forward to more next year. Take care and a happy new year to all of you. Bye for now.